President Donald Trump and Russia are pushing ahead rapidly to end Ukraine war without even involving the Ukrainian leaders or European leaders. Trump officials are in Saudi Arabia right now. They will meet their Russian counterpart there to discuss the end of Ukraine war. As you know, this is their first meeting to discuss the end of the war, and the meeting will be more like a preliminary discussion. President Trump was asked if the Ukrainian leaders will be involved in the peace negotiation concerning their own war. He said yes, but when it is necessary. He was also asked what the Russian president wants in Ukraine. He said he thinks he wants to stop fighting.
We're moving along. We're trying to get a peace with Russia and Ukraine, and we're working very hard on it. It's a war that should have never started.
Do you expect Zelensky to be involved in these conversations? What will his role be?
I do. He will be involved, yes.
Based on your conversations with President Putin, what do you think he wants ultimately in Ukraine?
I think he wants to stop fighting. I see that. They have a big, powerful machine. You understand that. And they defeated Hitler and they defeated Napoleon. You know, they've been fighting a long time. They've done it before. And but I think he would like to stop fighting.
One thing you should know is the Russians have always made it clear they are ready for diplomatic solutions. It was the Ukrainian president and European leaders that refused to engage in any form of diplomatic means, and this is the main reason Trump and Putin sidelined the Ukrainian leaders and European officials in this negotiation, because they know neither the Ukrainians nor the Europeans are willing to make any concessions during the peace negotiation, which means they are likely to undermine the peace negotiations. Take a look at what the Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said concerning the moves Trump teams are making.
This is a powerful signal that now we will try to solve the problem through a dialogue, and now we will talk about peace, not war. After all, what was with the previous administration? No dialogue. The war till the end.
So you can see there is a clear understanding between the Trump's team and their Russian counterparts. It is unclear whether the European leaders will be involved in the negotiations concerning the war being fought in their continent, because when the Trump special envoy for the Russia and Ukraine negotiation, Kate Kellogg, was asked by a reporter if Ukraine and Europe will be involved in the negotiation, he said, Ukraine will be involved, but Europe will not be.
Can you assure this audience that Ukrainians will be at the table and Europeans will be at the table?
The answer to that last question, just as you framed it, the answer is no. The answer to the earlier part of that question is yes. Of course the Ukrainians are going to be at the table. I mean, who would be foolish to say they wouldn't?
This proves my theory. Trump wants to deal with the Russians directly. He knows the Ukrainians and the Europeans will not agree to make the necessary concessions required to stop the war, and they will want to undermine the peace negotiations. With this whole situation, the French President Emmanuel Macron called the European leaders for an emergency meeting. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is attending, so is the Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, NATO Chief Mark Rutte, Italian President Giorgia Meloni, and the EU chiefs Ursula von der Leyen. As you can see, all the big European leaders are attending. Well, let's hope they come up with a positive solution. I personally doubt that though. Take a look at what France's Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot said.
I'm not just talking about the threat posed by Russia today. I'm talking about all the threats that could threaten Europe if the authoritarian powers here or there feel that Europe is helpless, that it is unable to defend itself. So we're going to have to make far greater creative efforts than we have to date. And we need to be prepared for this, because we will have to face difficult days, make complicated decisions, and perhaps even sacrifices that we did not expect until now if, indeed, this security is to be guaranteed.
So as you can see, with this kind of talks, it doesn't look as if they are willing to make any concession to the Russians. Meanwhile, amid all this, Russia is stepping up its attacks in Ukraine, bombing Ukraine energy facilities and leaving its citizens freezing in the cold. This is arguably the worst moment for Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky, as he faces both domestic and external pressure. If he refuses to negotiate, he will likely lose American support in the war and will likely lose the war. If he engages in negotiation, he will be forced to make painful concessions to Russia and lose its territories. Well, we'll be following the whole situation to see where it leads. This is in-depth analysis by Arinze. Don't forget to like, comment, and very important, subscribe to my channel. Thank you.